If you love big, loud action games where everything explodes, blades clash, and adrenaline never lets go, you're in the right place. Today, we're counting down the top 10 upcoming action AAA games on Switch 2, the most ambitious, high-budget, and epic projects that are about to turn your console into a true powerhouse of intense battles.
Get rid of the shoes!
This reimagined chapter in the long-running Dynasty Warriors saga throws you headfirst into the chaos of the Three Kingdoms in a way the series has never quite attempted before, shifting the focus from pure battlefield spectacle toward a more narrative-driven adventure anchored by a nameless hero burdened with lost memories and an inexplicable pull toward uniting a land torn apart by war. While the signature Musou fantasy of carving through massive enemy armies remains fully intact, Origins deepens the experience with strategic layers that let you actively command troops in the heat of battle, turning raw action into something more tactical and deliberate. The story branches and reshapes itself depending on which historical figures you choose to support, giving your alliances real weight and consequences as the fate of the fractured realm slowly bends around your decisions. It's still brutal, satisfying hack-and-slash combat at its core, but now fused with meaningful choices, commanding presence, and a sense of purpose that elevates the scale of every clash, positioning this as one of the most ambitious and adrenaline-charged action titles lined up for Switch 2 early next year. Dispatch is a 2025 superhero workplace comedy adventure developed and published by independent studio Ad Hoc Studio, a team founded by veterans from Telltale Games, and it unfolds its story through an episodic release structure that began on October 22, 2025 for PC and PlayStation 5, with Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 versions scheduled to arrive on January 28, 2026. The game places you in the worn-out boots of Robert Robertson III, better known as Mecha Man, a once legendary superhero whose iconic mech suit has been completely destroyed, forcing him out of the spotlight and into a far less glamorous role behind a desk at the Superhero Dispatch Network. From there, your day-to-day reality becomes a delicate balancing act as you manage a team of former supervillains who are now trying to rebrand themselves as heroes, deciding who gets sent to handle emergencies, navigating office politics, nurturing personal relationships, and shaping the story through meaningful choices that ripple outward with lasting consequences.
We're playing Magic the Gathering tonight. I am hoping we still may.
What the fuck?
You being bigger. I was a little drunk.
Resident Evil Requiem stands as the next major chapter in Capcom's legendary survival horror franchise, and is widely regarded as the 9th mainline entry, pulling players back into the scarred remains of Raccoon City with a renewed sense of dread and narrative ambition. The story follows a new protagonist, FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft, who is drawn into the mystery surrounding the city's post-apocalyptic ruins, only for her investigation to collide with the path of iconic series veteran Leon S. Kennedy. The game smartly shifts perspective between these two characters, each offering a distinct gameplay identity. Grace's segments lean heavily into classic survival horror tension, resource management, and slow-burn atmospheric fear, while Leon's sections embrace a more action-oriented approach built around intense combat encounters. Revealed in 2025 as part of the franchise's 30th anniversary, Requiem blends familiar survival horror DNA with modern design sensibilities and fresh narrative stakes, and with its Switch 2 version launching simultaneously alongside other platforms, it's set to become one of the system's most significant and high-profile horror releases in 2026.
Yeah.
Victor Gideon.
Hey, over here. FBI. What are you doing?
Mario Tennis Fever returns Nintendo's long-running sports series to the spotlight with an entry that aims to be the most content-rich and mechanically refined installment to date, headlined by the largest roster in franchise history, with 38 playable characters wielding 30 unique Fever rackets that directly shape playstyles and special abilities. On the court, the action builds on familiar foundations with classic topspin, slice, and lob shots, while layering in new slide mechanics and defensive footwork that add depth and flexibility to rallies. Beyond standard singles and doubles matches, the game expands its offering with tournament modes, technical challenges, and rule-twisting match types designed to keep competition fresh and unpredictable, whether you're playing locally or online. Everything about Mario Tennis Fever points toward a fast, colorful, and highly replayable arcade sports experience that embraces Mario's personality while rewarding skill and strategy, making it a standout title for Switch 2 when it launches in February 2026.
The online modes choose between casual play with customizable rules in online. A talking flower provides riveting commentary in swing mode. Plus, after encountering monsters,
YSX Proud Nordics is positioned as the definitive way to experience this epic action RPG adventure, refining and expanding the original YSX. Nordics with new story content, additional mechanics, and meaningful quality-of-life upgrades that push it beyond the base release. Originally launched in Japan on Switch 2 in mid-2025, this enhanced edition deepens the experience without losing what made the original special, preserving Wise's signature fast-paced combat built around tight swordplay, aerial juggling, and explosive magical attacks, while encouraging exploration across sweeping island landscapes and dynamic skies. The journey reunites players with familiar faces like Adal and Karja, introduces new characters such as Canute and Astrid, and sends you uncovering long-buried secrets on Oland Island.
Have a heart, Canoe. This is one fight we can't afford to lose. Right! I'll show you what being a real pirate is all about. Let's go, Shield brother!
This release marks a major moment for the Yakuza series as Sega and Ryuga Gotoku Studio bring two tightly connected experiences together in one ambitious package designed to reintroduce a pivotal era of the franchise. At its core is Kiwami 3, a full-scale remake of Yakuza 3 from 2009, rebuilt with modern visuals and reworked combat using the refined Dragon engine, once again placing Kazuma Kiryu's deeply personal struggle to protect his orphanage at the heart of the story. Alongside it comes Dark Ties, a completely new narrative experience that shifts perspective to Yoshitaka Mine, the antagonist from Yakuza 3, offering fresh combat flair and a storyline described as one of the darkest the series has ever explored. Together, these two narratives form a dual storyline structure that expands the emotional weight of the original while adding new depth and perspective, complemented by updated visuals and expanded side content. It's shaping up to be a definitive relaunch of Yakuza's classic era and a powerful entry point for both longtime fans and newcomers on Switch 2.
In the underworld.
Listen good, Mine. When you exchange cups with your patriarch for your boss, that's how we
By no one. Needed by no one.
Mouse for Hire stands out as one of the most distinctive indie titles arriving on Switch 2 in spring 2026. Built entirely around a bold creative identity that fuses first-person shooter gameplay with a striking 1930s cartoon and film noir aesthetic. You step into the role of Jack Pepper, a private investigator navigating the shadowy streets of Mouseburg as he unravels a dark conspiracy, all within a world that looks like it leapt straight out of a vintage black and white animation reel. The rubber hose-inspired character designs, jazzy soundscape, and smoky backdrops create a beautifully absurd atmosphere that never stops feeling intentional, while the core FPS mechanics deliver solid, responsive action beneath the stylized surface. Whimsical weapons, shady characters, and noir storytelling blend seamlessly with the game's playful yet gritty tone.
A safe could mark a date. Only one way to know. Find the numbers.
I'm out here building a...
Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP brings back the cult classic action-adventure originally created by Suda51, and James Gunn, reintroducing cheerleader zombie slayer Juliet Starling and her over-the-top undead slicing chaos in a remastered form tailored for modern platforms. The Switch 2 edition arrives with a notable shift in plans, as its release has been pushed from late 2025 into early 2026 to allow for a simultaneous digital and physical launch, ensuring both formats arrive together. That delay comes with an extra incentive, as this version includes an exclusive gun shooting mode that adds rail shooter-style segments featuring unique controls and waves of enemies designed specifically for this edition. At its core, RePOP preserves the irreverent tone, flashy combat, and cult personality that defined the original. while refining the presentation for a new generation, making it both a nostalgic return and a refreshed way to experience Juliet's stylish fight against the undead. ChromaGun 2. Die Hard takes the clever first-person puzzle shooter concept of the original and pushes it to new extremes, once again arming you with the iconic ChromaGun that lets you shoot and combine primary colors across walls, floors, and objects to reshape the environment. The game's defining color physics system drives every challenge, as painted surfaces attract robots and unlock pathways based on matching hues, turning each room into a living logic puzzle that demands careful thought and experimentation. This sequel expands the formula with more intricate puzzle designs, new hazards, and an intertwined multiverse narrative that adds unexpected story depth to the experience. As you dodge dangers, mix colors to solve increasingly complex scenarios, and absorb the vibrant visual style, Die Hard demonstrates how a color-driven mechanic can evolve into a rich and memorable puzzle adventure without losing the playful ingenuity that made the original stand out.
Are you serious? Remember, not solving tests as instructed is a bad idea.
Remember when I told you not to destroy the fabric of reality? What the hell happened?
Tales of Berseria Remastered revives one of the most emotionally intense entries in the Tales series, pairing updated visuals with modern refinements while preserving the raw heart of its story. Players once again follow Velvet Crow, a fiercely driven protagonist whose life is shattered by betrayal and personal tragedy, setting her on a dark and deeply personal path of vengeance and self-discovery within a world torn between emotion and rigid reason. This remastered edition goes beyond visual upgrades by introducing meaningful quality-of-life improvements such as encounter toggling, destination icons, and smoother battle pacing, making the experience more accessible without diluting its edge. On top of that, it includes the full set of original DLC content, delivering all the costumes, items, and extras that defined the original release, and ensuring that this version represents the complete, definitive way to experience Berseria's powerful narrative on Nintendo Switch.
Quench no matter how hard I try. My name is Velvet Crow. I'm coming for you, Artorias. They're proof that all of us